Am I going already? Is this happening already? Let's see. Oh. Okay. I obviously did not prepare enough. I just went to it. That's okay though. Practice makes perfect. Progress. Snap camera? What? Oh, I know what happened. Let's see. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to truncate this first part here. There we go. Hopefully this will work. Start face track. Spout in. It works. Nice. Okay, so what am I doing today? Now let's see if I can just get this to my NDI out. I've got a funny little setup for my camera. And hopefully that's picked up. But oh, there it is. That's bigger than expected. Nice. Okay. So it should be all set up now. Alright. So last time, what I did was I had a Notion document with everything I want to achieve and accomplish. So part of the idea here is that I kind of like saying my plans out loud so I can actually do them and hold myself accountable and all that. So let me just bring up the document. So here's the document that I made, the first stream. So basically, I wish I had some music. I should set some music up. Yeah, so maybe I'll do that first actually. Music or sound, like that. So Everstream is a project to create a streaming environment that continues and streams perpetually for, I would like to do it forever, but you know, of course that is quite a goal there. But I would love to make something that streams forever and then people can interact with it, and it kind of keeps itself alive. So the minimum requirement for that would be like, it maybe generates enough interest and income to pay for the maintenance of the hardware and the internet connection and all this kind of stuff. So that's the basic idea, but I think it's also had some other kind of bigger ideas, like being a place where people could donate, and it generates income that would be used for things like stopping deforestation and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna keep on saying this stuff out loud until it like actually sticks and actually like maybe, I don't know, happens, manifests or whatever. Manifest global change. Whenever someone writes something like this, I'm like, you're kind of crazy, aren't you? I think we all kind of believe in a little bit of magic. So I haven't promoted this today. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of a quiet stream again this time. So not really intending to blast this out just yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hop into touchdesigner and kind of, I don't know, just kind of like get going here. So I'm going to collapse, and this is going to be my video handler. And the video handler, I kind of feel like my video is just a little bit too big. We don't need to see that much of me. There we go. So video handler is going to handle all my video stuff, and now I'm going to make a container. It's going to be the audio handler. And actually, this audio handler doesn't even need to be a container, because a container is something that shows up as a UI element. This will just be a piece of audio. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a audio file in, like that. And this is going to be the default. And if I do like audio device out, I could probably get it to play. There we go. Okay, so it's playing the default. But what I really want to do is have it search a folder. And I've got a folder full of music from a friend of mine, which I will bring up right now. So let me just find that. I use a little search program called Everything that lets me really easily find stuff on my computer. So here we go. So the location of this folder of music is on my A drive. The file has been called Everstream forever, because I've wanted to do this forever. And that is the folder. A audio, Everstream audio. Well, why don't I just pick it? Let's do it. A Everstream audio. Select folder. I think that was like that because I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got the list of all the music, and then I will select a column. I'm going to include I won't include the first row, but I'm just going to select row by index, and I'll do 1 first, like that. Okay, so that's my first. And then over here, I will say that the audio file in looks at the operator, select 1, and it looks for column, row column. So row 0 and column 1. And the reason we're doing that is because column 1 is the path to the file, like that. So now I've got the audio file should be playing my friend's music. There it is. And I think that's going to be a little bit too loud. So I'll turn on the volume to 0.3. 0.25. Okay, I love this music so much. Alright, so one thing that's happening here is that it's just going to play the same song over and over. So I'm going to grab an info, and that info is going to take the info of the audio file. And one thing I like to do is find, in the scope, I'll find you kind of need like the length, the fraction. There we go. So this is how far through the song we are. And you could do things like you could add a circle. Hopefully it's not too loud. I think it might still be. I'll turn it down to 0.1. Maybe that's good. I'll have to check next time. Let's do 0.15. Okay. So got the fraction, and you could do something like you could have a circle, and that circle could have no fill, could have a bit of a border, like that, border color, and then you could basically say, okay, take this 0 to 1, and why don't we rearrange it to 0 to 360, which is the number of degrees in the circle, and then we'll change the angle here. So it's slowly completing the circle as it completes the song. And of course, this doesn't quite make sense because it's going the opposite way. We kind of want it to go like a clock, right? Start at the top. So what if I did negative? So now it's kind of depleting. That doesn't seem quite right. One really easy way we could do it is just use a flip. So a flip could flop it bottom left. There we go. So now it's kind of perfectly going the way I expected. I don't actually know how big these are here. 256. We don't need that. I like to optimize as I go along. Okay. Now you know what? I know I said before that this doesn't need to be a container, it should just be a base, but let's make it a container. Interesting that it's showing that. I've never had a base show a background before, but we'll make it a container. And it restarted the song, of course. Can I hear it? Yeah. Okay, so it's restarted the song. this should be the panel look background should be the out, like that. And then what we should be doing is getting the width. So we'll look at the operator out, and then we'll get the width, like that. And we'll get the height. There we go. So now that's the exact size of the output. Okay, so we've got that. Now what we should do is, there's our project. 1920, or 1280 by 720. Cool. Alright, so we've got this panel here, and it's the only thing we have. Well, at this point, sometimes I like to do this. I like to make this the panel, and make that the project panel. There we go. So now we've got our canvas in a way. One thing I want to do really quick, I want to do a couple things. One is, now that I have the info, I want it to change to the next song once it hits the end. So what I'll do is I'll make a count. And the count is going to keep our kind of how far through this list we are. So the count is going to go, it's going to loop over a limit. The first number will be the first row here, and the last number is going to be the last row. So to find the last row, we do an operator, folder 1, and we do num rows. And that will tell us, you can see there, num rows will tell us how many rows. So now, whenever we hit this count trigger, or whatever, I'll just add a trigger real quick, and I'll trigger it. I'll reset this first, and I'll trigger this. Every time it crosses the threshold. And I'll just, I'll make this really short. I want like an instantaneous pulse. It will count up. I wish that there was just a way to just trigger the count instead of having something come in, but it's all good. So there we go. Hopefully the music isn't too loud still. Maybe it is. There you go. Okay, so now that I have this trigger, and I'm pulsing it, it's going through here. We're going to use this count to iterate through here. And so one thing we always do when we're outputting chops, so we always add a null to the end, just good practice. Everything's kind of crazy scales right now. Can we just reset node sizes? And then what happens if we lay them out? Shift L is layout, but I actually find it's better if you just keep it kind of moderate. Just keep it within little areas. That way it's not gonna get confused about what goes where. Okay. I really wish this this layout would work better. Layout, all, and pack. See what I mean? It's a little bit confusing. It's like, why would you... Anyway. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff here. Nice. Okay, so now we have this, and you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach this here to chop reference, and now it's gonna be selecting whatever song this is. This is song 8. Okay, so the last bit of this little program, there's 2 last bits. One will be triggering the trigger that's going to change the song, and we'll do that on the end of the info. So this is really easy. You could write a Python script to do this, you could do all sorts of things, but what we're going to do is... Oh, it's interesting, I don't have a trigger threshold anymore. What did I do to do that? Oh, maybe it's I need a input? Oh, it's creating a loop. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a little script. So it's going to be a chop that, or a chop execute like that. Oops. Chop execute. And so the chop execute, we're going to say on value change here, if the value is equal to 0.99. Let's say if the value is greater than 0.99, then we're going to, oops, go to op, trigger 1, and we're going to var, I believe that this right here, it's called trigger pulse, var trigger pulse, and then we're going to pulse it like that. Okay, I believe that's going to work. Make sure that here your on value change is there, and we're going to find out real soon. You know what we'll do is we'll make it happen a little faster. 0.7. There it was. So once it hit 0.7, it triggered the trigger and it changed the count. So let's try that again, but this time with 0.07. It's going to happen again. We'll watch this. It happened so quickly we couldn't see it, but that's okay. Maybe I'll just increase this attack length a little bit. 0.1, just so we can see it. Okay, we're about to hit 0.7 again. It was. Nice. Okay, so as long as we return this to our previous value, I'll do 0.98, just so if we're low frame rate, then it won't miss it. And loop it. Let's see. Just got a text message. Nice. Okay, so here we go. So, you know what? I'm feeling spicy. What if I just quickly post about me streaming real quick? I don't want to. I'm afraid of, I don't like going on Twitter or anything like that. So, okay, so here we go again. Last thing I wanted to do was I want to create a little text element. So I'll create a container. How should I do this? What I want to do is have it be right underneath. And I've actually done this before, but it's good to do it on this kind of thing. So I'm going to create a text top like that. And this text is going to get its text from op. Remember the folder, which actually we selected one. It was called select one. We looked at the row. The row was 0, and the column is 0. That's not going to work because it's in the string mode, but if I turn it to expression mode, there we go. So now we have the name of the track. So I'm going to use that track, and I think someone's arriving now, so it might get a bit loud here. So I'm going to make sure that the fit auto fits always like that. And I'm going to change the height to 64 like that. And I'm going to add a little bit of padding here. Let's see if I can add that. Here we go. Border space 2020. Nice. Okay, so I've got that, and now I'm going to put it into a container. Probably put that into a container like so, and I'll use the container to get the width up. Text 1 width. Why doesn't that work? Because it's spelled width. Width. And then I'll get the height like that. So that's the right height. Container probably does not look at the out top. There we go. So now you can see the two are there, but there's still one more problem, and that is that they are not aligned properly. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to make another container like that. I'm going to say op at 1 width at 1 height. Is that right? That can't be right. Why is it saying at 1 has a height of 64? That doesn't make sense. This should have a height of 128. Oh, text one. That one. There you go. Okay, so now we got the 2. This one still needs its background to be changed to out one, or yeah, out one, like that. And now what we're gonna do is this is kind of a funny thing to do, but going to ideally this would manage the relationship between the internal containers. So do that top to bottom, maybe. There we go. I'm going to turn off the background here. And now I'm going to make this a bit taller. So the height actually will be the out one height plus, it's going to be the height of this container plus this container. So I'm just going to really quick rename this to, excuse me, C1, and this to C2. And I'm going to say the height should be C1 plus the height of C2. Nice. So now it's got the height of both. The only thing I don't like is that the children are justified. So left, so if horizontal, can I do center? There we go. And now the last thing is that the width should actually be the width of C1. There we go. I think that's about it. There's one more thing I don't like, and that is that this is smaller, so I'm going to make the layout. I'm going to change the size of the out here. Oh, sorry. Change the size of the circle to 256. 256. That way we get a nice even layout. And now, just for fun, just to see how it works, I'm just going to turn the speed up to 10 and watch it play through everything. Yeah. We can see that it works great. It's looping there because of our threshold. I kind of like that. That's interesting. So now it's hit none. I don't know why. I think it's because there's probably a loading error because it was playing at 500 speed and then it loaded something. Let's see what it's trying to load. 01. Select row 21. Oh, I know what's happening. We found a bug. It's that right now that says this is set by the max. This here is set by the max number of rows, and we want to do the max rows minus 1 because it is because the first row is 0, so it's 0 index. So if there's 21 rows, the last row will be 20. So that's it. So now if I increase the speed again to some ungodly number, decrease the volume, it should play through all the way and start again. Let's just make sure it does. So it's kind of interesting that it has a non-integer here. I'm not sure why that would be. This seems like there's a problem there. I think it's just a frame rate thing. And it's restarted. So I think the last thing I'll do is just make sure the count is reset. We could do something like, we could make a little script. In fact, why don't we? Just to take care of situations like that. It's a bit overkill, but we'll try. Chop execute. Like that. What we're going to do is say on value change, if val is greater than, and here we're going to take this, the numbers. So first we'll define x. X is the folder numbers. If the value is greater than x, then what we're going to do is reset the chop. So that's reset pulse. So we'll say op count 1 par reset pulse, pulse, like that. And that should do it. So now, if ever that happens again, then it should reset it. Maybe it worked. I don't know. We'll have to test it more. Anyway, I think that's it for today. That's day 2. I'm gonna save this. Everstream. Gonna make a new folder. I will move that later probably. Everstream. Like so. There we go. Okay. See you next time.